August 13th, 2020, Spokane, Washington, a quiet city in the Pacific Northwest, known for its parks, rivers, and tight-knit communities. But on this night, a tragedy would unfold that would shock the entire city. Anthony Brines was just 25 years old, a devoted husband, a loving son, and a man with dreams of a bright future. But what happened in the early hours of this morning would shatter lives forever.
911, what are you reporting?
Hello, someone stabbed me at my house.
What, ma'am? I barely hear you. What's going on there?
Please don't do this to me.
Ma'am, what is the location?
Oh my God.
Hello, sir. Ma'am.
Hello, is anyone there?
Yes, ma'am. This is 911. Where are you at right now?
Please, he's been stabbed multiple times. He's not breathing well. He's a correctional officer. I can hear his breath through the wounds. Just relax, please, Anthony. I have you. You're okay.
Ma'am, you're with him right now? Okay.
Yes, I'm covering his wounds.
Where is the person that stabbed him?
He's trying to run away.
He ran away?
Yeah. Please stop. Please hurry. He's not doing well.
Haley. Haley. Haley, do you know who did this?
His name is Edward Martinez. Edward Martinez.
And is it your boyfriend that stabbed?
My boyfriend stabbed my ex-husband. He can hardly breathe.
Okay.
I really need medical assistance.
Yeah, we're getting there, okay?
This is the story of Anthony Brines and the fatal night that ended his life. Tonight, we'll uncover the tangled web of relationships, jealousy, and anger that led to a brutal stabbing in a Spokane home. This is not just a story of crime. It's a story of trust, betrayal, and irreversible choices. Anthony Brines was born and raised in Spokane. From a young age, he was known for his outgoing personality, his loyalty to friends, and his protective nature. His family described him as someone who would always put others first. Anthony grew up in a stable household, but like many teenagers, he faced the challenges of school pressures and social dynamics. Despite this, he excelled in sports and was active in his community. Friends recall a young man with a bright smile and a compassionate heart. Anthony was always the guy who'd help you move, who'd sit and listen when you had a problem. He cared about people, sometimes more than himself. By his early 20s, Anthony had married Haley Davis, a woman he met in Spokane. Their relationship was full of love and promise, but as we'll see, the dynamics would soon become complicated. Haley Davis, Anthony's wife, would soon meet Edward Martinez. Martinez was 19 years old, from Sacramento, California. A young man with a checkered past, Martinez was looking for connection, and through online dating he found Haley. Within days of meeting online, Haley Davis formed a relationship with Martinez, leading her to make impulsive decisions. Decisions that would intertwine the lives of 3 people in a deadly way. Martinez was described as charismatic but impulsive, sometimes volatile. While details of his early life are limited, court documents reveal that he struggled with anger management and controlling emotions. His meeting with Haley set the stage for what would become a fatal confrontation. After a brief period apart, Haley returned to Spokane with Martinez. She moved back into Anthony Brines' home, bringing Martinez along. Brines, unaware of the full extent of their relationship, welcomed them. This unusual arrangement created a pressure cooker environment. For weeks, the 3 lived under one roof. The tension grew daily. Arguments over finances, personal space, and trust began to surface. Friends of Brines noted that while he tried to maintain peace, there was a growing sense of unease. What no one could predict was that this uneasy balance would erupt into violence on a night that seemed ordinary at first glance. The early hours of August 13th, 2020 began like any other night for Anthony Brines and Haley Davis, but the presence of Edward Martinez would turn an ordinary evening into a fatal confrontation. The three were drinking alcohol and smoking marijuana in the master bedroom. In an attempt to lighten the mood, or perhaps escape tension, they decided to use a Ouija board. While seemingly innocent, the activity underscored a house filled with confusion, mistrust, and unspoken emotions. According to court documents, Anthony Brines remained calm and cooperative even as tension simmered. Martinez, however, became increasingly agitated. Sources indicate that he left the room briefly, then returned with a visible change in demeanor, a quiet anger, a simmering frustration he could no longer contain. Martinez retrieved a knife from another part of the house. In that moment, Anthony had no idea that his life was about to be violently interrupted. Witness statements describe a sudden escalation. Words were exchanged, voices raised, and then the attack. Martinez stabbed Anthony Brines multiple times, over 20 wounds, targeting his back, torso, and face. Brines tried to defend himself, even attempting to reason with Martinez, but it was too late. The young man who had opened his home to Martinez was now fighting for his life. Haley Davis immediately called 911. First responders rushed to the scene, performing life-saving measures, but despite their efforts, Anthony Brines succumbed to his injuries before he could reach the hospital. This was a brutal and senseless act. A young man stabbed repeatedly in the place he considered home, surrounded by people he trusted. The Spokane Police Department quickly arrived on scene. Detectives began a meticulous investigation, documenting the crime scene, collecting evidence, and interviewing witnesses. The first challenge was understanding what had led to this extreme act of violence. Investigators learned that Martinez had been living in the home for weeks, sharing space with Brines and Davis. While alcohol and drugs had contributed to the night's escalation, the underlying cause was far more complex, a toxic mix of jealousy, anger, and unresolved emotions. Police quickly identified Edward Martinez as the primary suspect. A K-9 unit tracked him, and tips from the community helped lead officers to his location. Martinez surrendered without incident, and he was taken into custody. He was booked on charges of first-degree murder.
I was really drunk, so I couldn't work anything up for some reason. I get that drunk sometimes. I can't. My body just goes numb. And I have a
So you couldn't get hard?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So what happens next?
She starts trying to get me somewhere. It's not working. We start messing around, and then Anthony starts coming up, rubbing mine and her feet. And just, I don't know, it made me feel uncomfortable, but, I was already uncomfortable. So It just, added to it, and I don't know, I started feeling a deep anger inside of me. Just building. And, after a while, I literally took a step in the bathroom. Light wasn't on. And all I can think in my head, as soon as I walk in that bathroom, is, literally, I went to find a knife and then lost it.
With these rights in mind, do you wish to answer my questions?
Is it all right if I have a lawyer present?
You would like a lawyer?
Yes.
It is. So what's going to happen? We're going to have someone come in here. We're seeking a search warrant to get photographs, buccal swabs, which is your DNA. They'll be in here. When that's done, you're going to be booked into jail. You're going to be charged with first-degree murder. Okay?
He's dead.
He is dead. You killed him. If you change your mind and decide you want to talk to me about this, you can always send a kite.
Yeah, I don't need a lawyer. Forget that. I know what I did, and I'm not going to deny it.
So before we go into everything, I just want to ask, why did you say you wanted an attorney and then decide to talk? Is it because you didn't think he was dead? I mean, what?
No, it's just, I don't know, thinking too much about it.
Thinking too much about it.
I've been thinking about too much lately, and it's
I get it.
gotta be the death of me.
What's going on with your life?
I just been off a lot, and like just not doing the right thing, and it took me over mentally, and thought I was going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally thought that there's like someone else in my head. Like I'm not the only one in my head. Might need testing because I don't know.
Do you have a counselor?
No.
Right. What are the tattoos? See,
Oh,
tree
this
with
is,
S's.
that's a tree of life.
What about the K on your finger?
My girlfriend's got a matching Q
Oh, okay. Does it mean anything, or is it just because
because we're together.
you're together?
I mean, probably not no more, but yeah.
Eddie,
I guess I was the first one to like her on the profile, and she matched with me, and from there, we just clicked. Like it just felt so natural talking to her, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I was at a point in time where I just couldn't trust anybody around me, even people that I loved. Sometimes I just thought were shifty, and I don't know. I just been seeing things in a really up way. I wasn't gonna stop her. I just went with her, and a lot changed after that. Like I like literally just cut everybody off for my new life.
Sure. What all did you know about her at that point?
Well, I knew her situation, which she was still living with her husband, who she's claims to be divorced. I at first was okay with the idea of it because I didn't think any. She told me, you know, he's not gonna be on no weird. He's not gonna do the things that he did do and did drive me off the edge.
So how was the living situation in the house?
It was fine, you know, for a while it just functioned, everything just worked, and there were moments where I would find text messages between them of things I didn't want to see, and that, you know, I kept telling her about it, I keep telling her, and she keeps ignoring it, you know.
I'm curious as have they arrested his wife, Anthony's wife? If not, you'll need to put her in cuffs.
Okay. All right. And so, for what reason?
Apparently, what they said on page 2 on their website said that the two men live together.
All right.
Anthony's married.
Okay.
The suspect is his wife's boyfriend. I just think that she needs to be looked at pretty seriously.
This girl has created this situation. This person who stabbed my nephew, she is just as responsible for this as he is.
and the case began its long journey through the judicial system. From the very start, prosecutors noted the premeditation present in Martinez's actions, citing his retrieval of the knife and his escalating anger. Anthony's family was devastated. His brother, Christopher Walker, described him as a hero who had always looked out for others. His aunt, Sarah McConaughey Zemer, recalled the pain of hearing that Martinez had stabbed him in the back. The community, too, was shaken. Neighbors remembered Anthony as friendly, kind, and trustworthy. The realization that such violence had occurred in their neighborhood left many questioning how well we truly know the people around us. Investigators compiled statements from Haley Davis, neighbors, and friends, building a narrative of the events leading up to the fatal stabbing. The timeline was critical, establishing Martinez's actions before, during, and after the attack would become key evidence at trial. The case drew national attention, highlighting not just the brutality of the act, but the psychological and relational factors that had led to it, a seemingly ordinary night exploding into tragedy. After Edward Martinez's arrest, the case quickly moved toward trial. What unfolded in the courtroom would lay bare the tragic dynamics of that night, revealing anger, fear, and betrayal. The prosecution painted a picture of premeditation. Martinez, they argued, had planned parts of the attack before entering the bedroom. They emphasized that he had left the room, retrieved a knife, and returned, demonstrating intent. Witness statements, including Haley Davis's account, described the sudden escalation and the fatal stabbing of Anthony Brines. Edward Martinez's defense argued that the attack was not premeditated. His attorneys suggested that alcohol, marijuana, and the intense emotions of the evening contributed to a sudden loss of control. They claimed that Martinez did not plan the stabbing, but rather reacted impulsively under pressure. The defense also suggested that the household dynamics, 3 people under one roof with complex romantic entanglements, created an environment where tensions could boil over unexpectedly. Witnesses were called to testify, painting a vivid picture of Anthony Brines as a loving husband and devoted son. Friends described his generosity and protective nature. Haley Davis detailed the events leading up to the stabbing, her voice trembling as she recounted the night. Family members delivered emotional statements recounting Anthony's kindness and the devastation left in the wake of his death. His brother, Christopher Walker, described the loss as a hole that could never be filled. His aunt, Sarah McConaughey Zemer, told the court, "Anthony's blood will always be on your hands, Edward." After weeks of testimony and deliberation, the jury returned with a verdict. Edward Martinez was guilty of first-degree murder. In July 2023, the court sentenced him to 27 years in prison, including a 2-year enhancement for use of a deadly weapon. For the Brines family, the verdict brought a sense of justice, though it could never undo the loss of Anthony's life. The community was left to grapple with the tragedy and its implications. The case of Anthony Brines highlights the dangers of unresolved anger, jealousy, and impulsive decision-making. It also raises questions about trust, complex relationships, and the risks of allowing tension to fester unchecked. Anthony's life, full of promise and potential, was cut short in a house that should have been a sanctuary. His story serves as a tragic reminder of how quickly ordinary situations can spiral into unimaginable violence. This was the story of Anthony Brines, a devoted husband, loyal friend, and beloved son, whose life ended in a violent and preventable tragedy. The choices of one person irrevocably changed the lives of many. If this story has resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on the importance of communication, trust, and handling conflict before it becomes destructive. Thank you for watching, and please share your thoughts in the comments below.